There are things in your life quietly draining your peace without you even realizing it. And if you don't eliminate them now, they'll steal years from you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This is more than a quote. It's a warning and a compass. Because your thoughts shape your habits shape your relationships, and your relationships shape your entire future. In this video, you'll uncover 11 silent forces you must quietly eliminate from your life, not with drama, not with shouting, but with clarity and quiet courage. So stay with us, because by the end, you may not just learn something new, you may start to become someone new. 1. Explaining yourself to those who hurt you. When someone has hurt you, especially someone close, there's a strong temptation to explain yourself, to defend your intentions, to ask them why. But here's the truth. You don't owe long explanations to people who caused you pain. Closure is not something they give you. Peace is something you choose. The most powerful move? Not revenge, not confrontation, but quiet distance. Let them wonder. Let them feel your absence. Let time deliver the lessons you don't need to teach. And when they come back, as they often do, asking for help, for one more chance. No is enough. You don't need anger, just a boundary. You don't have to be available to people who made you feel invisible. Choosing peace over drama is not weakness, it's wisdom. Like Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. So don't stoop to their level, don't get pulled into their chaos. Instead, invest in your growth, your character, your peace. That's how you rise. 2. Unnecessary goals. Not every goal deserves your time. Some were born from ego, some from comparison, and some simply expired. Letting go of outdated goals isn't failure, it's freedom. The world tells us to chase more status, more ambition, more visibility, but the Stoics teach us the opposite, to focus only on what truly matters. Ask yourself, does this goal still align with who I am? Or is it a leftover dream from someone I no longer wish to be? And when you do let go, do it quietly. You don't need to announce every shift in your path. Let your actions, not your explanations, speak for you. The most powerful moves are made in silence. The most aligned lives are lived without performance. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." Wasting your energy on goals that no longer serve your soul, that's the greatest loss of all. So simplify, edit your dreams, and walk a path that's truly your own. 3. Oversharing the end of relationships. When a friendship ends, when love fades, it hurts, and it's tempting to talk about it, to explain it, to vent. But here's the Stoic truth. The end of something sacred deserves silence. When you speak about someone who was once close, you're not just telling your story, you're telling theirs too. Oversharing intimate details of a breakup or fallout may feel relieving in the moment, but it often breeds gossip, resentment, and more pain. Instead, choose reflection, choose stillness, choose self-honoring silence. The people who need to know already do. The rest don't matter. By holding space for quiet, you protect what was once meaningful, even if it ended in hurt. That's not weakness, that's integrity. And in that integrity, you find healing. And here's what most people never realize. People come and go. Goals evolve. Chapters end. But your peace, that should never be up for negotiation. When you choose to walk away from things that no longer serve your spirit, you're not quitting, you're refining. And refinement is sacred. Every time you eliminate something toxic, noisy, or unnecessary, you make space for something better. Clarity, direction, truth. So let this not be just another video you watch. Let it be a mirror, a nudge, a quiet turning point. Not everything needs to be loud. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in silence, in solitude, in subtle shifts no one else sees, but you feel it, and you'll carry it with you long after this screen goes dark. And as you release what no longer belongs, you return to who you were always meant to be. There's a quiet strength in keeping private pain. Private. When a relationship ends, romantic or platonic, there's often a strong urge to explain it to others, to justify your side, to tell people what really happened. But Stoicism teaches us a different path. Dignity in silence, healing in privacy. When you choose not to overshare, you're not hiding, you're protecting your own peace and the humanity of someone who, at one time, mattered deeply to you. This discretion allows space for real healing, not public performance. It gives you the room to sit with the truth, not the crowd's opinion. And if you feel tempted to keep bringing it up, ask yourself, is there still something unresolved within me? Instead of chasing validation or sympathy, turn inward, reflect, write, walk, speak softly to yourself. Not every emotion needs an audience. Marcus Aurelius put it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In relationships, especially their endings, you rarely control the outcome, but you always control your response, your tone, your words, your next step. And in choosing silence, you choose mastery. 4. Raising your voice in front of others. We've all been there. In a meeting, in an argument, frustration building, pulse racing, voice rising. But what if you chose restraint? What if you turn that heat into something solid? Not rage, not noise, but resolve. Anger is not evil, but unfiltered anger, that's weakness disguised as strength. True power is quiet, measured, commanding. Think about the last time someone lost their temper publicly. Did it inspire confidence or discomfort? Now think of someone who stayed composed under pressure, their presence calm, their voice steady. That's the person we admire, the person we remember. This is not about repressing emotion, it's about refining it, turning fire into focus, storm into structure, like emotional alchemy. And it starts with how you speak. Heraclitus said, "To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. In chaos, your calm is your crown." The next time you feel that surge rising, try this. Pause, breathe, lower your voice. Let your silence carry the weight your shouting never could. Because when the world expects noise and you offer stillness, you become unshakable. 5. Spreading negative opinions about others. We've all heard it, someone tearing another person down when they're not in the room, and it always begs the question, what do they say about me when I'm gone? Gossip might feel harmless until it echoes back. When you speak ill of others, it sticks to you as much as it sticks to them. It follows you. It reshapes how people see you, quietly, consistently. The Stoic doesn't waste time on petty talk. They understand this truth. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. So when conflict arises and judgment bubbles up, pause and choose a different response. Instead of tearing someone down, ask, what might they be going through? Why did they act that way? Have I ever made a mistake like that? It's not about excusing bad behavior. It's about choosing empathy over ego. This doesn't just make you more respected, it makes you more centered. You become the person who listens deeply, who speaks sparingly, who navigates human complexity with grace. In a world quick to judge, your refusal to speak ill becomes a rare and radiant virtue, and those around you will notice. Not because you talked the most, but because you said the least, with the most weight, because the way you speak of others reveals how you see the world. If your lens is one of scarcity, you'll see enemies. If it's shaped by fear, you'll see threats. But if it's refined by presence and patience, you'll see humans, just like you. That's what Stoicism asks of us. Not perfection, not silence, but intention. Intention in how we speak, in how we think, in how we hold others in our minds, even when they're not in the room. So before the words escape your lips, pause, ask, does this uplift or diminish? Would I want this said about me? Does this make me proud of who I'm becoming? This is how you live with character, not just when others are watching, but especially when they're not. Because what you whisper when no one hears, that's your truth. And when you live aligned with that truth, something changes. You no longer chase approval. You no longer fear judgment. You no longer need to be loud because your presence already speaks for you. So if you've made it this far, know this. You're doing something rare. You're not escaping yourself. You're exploring. You're not just watching this video. You're confronting your patterns. And that takes courage. Leave a comment, not for applause, but as a quiet declaration. I choose growth. I choose presence. I choose peace. And when you look back months from now, you'll remember this was one of those silent moments that changed everything. 6. Constantly comparing yourself to others. Comparison is a silent poison. It sneaks into your thoughts like a thief in the night, robbing you of joy, peace, and presence. You scroll through someone else's highlight reel and forget the worth of your own raw, real, unscripted journey. Every time you glance sideways, measuring their milestones against your own, you blur the value of your unique path. And that's the trap. Comparison creates a treadmill beneath your feet. You run and run but never arrive. You chase after a version of success that was never yours to begin with. But here's the shift. What if you stopped running? What if you stood still, looked inward, and embraced the messy, unpredictable beauty of your own story? It's not about ignoring what others are doing. It's about reclaiming your lens, about saying, this is where I am, this is who I am, and that's enough. For now, your journey isn't a race. It's a mosaic. Each broken piece, each small win, each detour adds depth and color. So instead of tallying achievements, start honoring your effort. Celebrate the fact that you're still showing up, still trying, still growing. As the Stoic Epictetus taught, control your perceptions, direct your actions properly, willingly accept what's outside your control. That includes other people's lives, their pace, their applause, their path. Let them walk theirs, and walk yours eyes forward, heart steady. You don't need to be better than anyone else. You just need to be better than the version of you who gave up yesterday. That's enough. That's growth. 7. Mindless use of social media. Social media is a tool, but left unchecked, it becomes a trap. A portal that pulls you away from your life and into the illusion of someone else's. You compare your quiet mornings to their tropical vacations, your reflection in bad lighting to their filtered glow. And before long, your life feels lacking. But it's not lacking. It's just being judged by the wrong ruler. To reclaim your mind, you need intention. Start simple. Choose when you go online, not constantly, but consciously. Ask before each scroll, is this inspiring me or distracting me? Track how you feel after, not during your screen time. If the glow of the screen leaves you dimmer inside, it's time to step back. Because the life in front of you, the one with dishes in the sink, socks on the floor, and laughter from the next room, is real. And real life, with all its imperfections, is worth more than any curated grid. When you choose presence over pixels, you begin to see again. You notice the way light falls through your window, the sound of your breath, the stories your own hands are writing. Take breaks, take walks, touch grass, touch your own thoughts. Let social media serve your life, not shape it. Your soul wasn't made to scroll. And if you forget that, simply log out and step outside. The world is waiting for you, not your perfect version, but the real one. 8. The pursuit of external validation. Picture this. You're standing on a stage. The spotlight is hot. The crowd is silent. And every move you make, every word you say, is weighed by 1,000 invisible judges. That's what it feels like to live for approval. And most of us have lived there, trapped in performances, afraid to be misunderstood, afraid to disappoint, afraid to be real. But there's another scene, off stage, no spotlight, just you, your voice, your breath, your truth. It's quiet there, but it's where you hear yourself again. The Stoics teach that the only opinion that truly matters is your own, when it's rooted in virtue. Validation from others is fleeting, addictive. It gives a high, then steals your peace. So what if you stepped off the stage? What if you stopped asking, do they like me? And started asking, do I respect who I'm becoming? Start listening to your own applause. Not the loudest voice in the room, but the clearest one in your heart. Remember, a true fulfillment comes not from being praised, but from being aligned. Not from impressing strangers, but from honoring your principles. Not from fitting in, but from standing firm. You weren't born to perform, you were born to be. So strip away the layers, the masks, the need to be liked. Return to the quiet power of living from the inside out. Let your values be your compass, your integrity, your armor, because when you do, you no longer need to convince the world. You're already convinced. What if the loudest voice you heard each day was your own, not one shaped by likes, shares, or applause, but the voice that whispers truth when everything else fades? That's what happens when you finally eliminate what doesn't serve you. Let's walk through the last 3 things you must quietly let go of, not to impress others, but to free yourself from the prison of your own mind. 9. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is a mirage that always recedes as you approach. It convinces you that good is never enough, that every effort must be flawless, every word polished, every outcome ideal. But here's the cost. You become a prisoner of fear, fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of simply being human. What if, instead of chasing perfect, you chose progress? Every stumble is a lesson, every imperfection a window into authenticity. Think about your favorite moments in life. Weren't they often messy, spontaneous, beautifully flawed? True growth doesn't happen in sterile perfection. It happens in the muddy, raw places where effort meets reality. To start letting go, try this. The next time something goes wrong, say to yourself, this is part of it. Not an interruption of the journey, but the journey itself. Celebrate the effort, not just the result. Honor the human, not the machine. When you release the need to be perfect, you reclaim your right to evolve. You become free to live and free to fail beautifully. 10. Unrealistic expectations. When expectations run unchecked, they become silent tyrants. They dictate what your relationships should feel like, what your career should look like by age 30, what your body should resemble after every milestone. And when reality doesn't align, you spiral, not because life failed you, but because the blueprint was never yours to begin with. So how do we break free? We return to our values. We strip the shoulds and rediscover the wants. Instead of asking, "What is expected of me?" ask, "What is meaningful to me?" That single shift will realign your energy from chasing illusions to creating something real. Unrealistic expectations aren't just disorienting, they are heavy, and you were never meant to carry them. Let them go. We are not here to live someone else's story. We're here to write our own, flawed, spontaneous, genuine. And every time you let go of an unrealistic expectation, you lighten the burden on your back and take one step closer to the life that's waiting underneath. 11. Gossip. Gossip often wears the mask of bonding. It masquerades as connection, a quick way to fit in, to feel part of something. But behind its smile lies erosion of trust, of compassion, of self-respect. When we gossip, we borrow attention at the expense of someone else's dignity. And in the quiet corners of our conscience, it costs more than we think. It chips away at our authenticity. Here's the truth: the words we say about others say more about us. So choose differently. Be the person who shifts conversations toward ideas, not individuals, toward growth, not judgment. And when you're tempted to speak in whispers about someone's failure, ask yourself, would I want my worst moment aired out like this? Your silence can be powerful. Your choice to rise above the chatter, heroic. In doing so, you lead, not by force, but by example. It may be uncomfortable at first, but with each act of restraint, you strengthen the part of yourself that values peace over pettiness, substance over spectacle. Let gossip die in your silence, and let your character speak volumes instead. Final thoughts. These last 3 habits, perfectionism, unrealistic expectations, and gossip, may seem small, but they form the hidden scaffolding of a life weighed down. Cutting them quietly doesn't mean weakness. It means wisdom. It means choosing to live with depth, not drama, with alignment, not approval. The Stoics never chased applause. They chased clarity. They knew that peace was not found in the absence of hardship, but in the presence of virtue. So, if today you begin, not by fixing everything, but by letting go of one thing that doesn't serve your peace, then you are already walking the path of strength. Be proud of that and keep going, because the most powerful transformations don't shout. They whisper, and they begin the moment you decide to stop performing and start living. If this video lit a small fire in you, nurture it. Like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more. Together, let's walk this journey of quiet power and unwavering purpose. Now, 2 more videos await. 2 more steps forward. I'll meet you there.